Good evening. This is Maestro Kryptoleo with the Dawn of War 2 Retribution Elite Modcast. Today we have a 3v3 on Argus Desert Gate. Our first player is LuckyKiller 970. All of that. He is playing as the Force Commander. The Force Commander does damage, tanks damage, buffs his units to make them do more damage. Mostly he just punches and slashes things. He's got a variety of different weapons: chainsword, power sword, bolt pistol, yeah, and a few more others. Next up, we've got kryptoleo, who is not being targeted properly. He is playing as the slightly tanky Commissar Lord, gets a free energy shield. He's got a bionic eye. He can tank a little bit. He's also got some support abilities like Aura of Discipline and his variety of executes. Next up, we've got Haidran, playing as the Farseer. Farseer is an Eldar support hero. She fights in melee, and she's also got a few different support spells like Guide, which she used right there, buffed the damage of the Dire Avengers. She's also got a few different disabling spells as well, like Psychic Storm and Time Field. Next up, we've got Anomaly, playing as the Plague Champion. This is a Chaos Marine. He looks pretty normal, but he's kind of tough. He can heal. He's also got some repairing and buildings he can make. And then later on, he actually becomes more of a melee tank and a very durable and defensive, although very slow one. Next up, we've got Gaius Baltar, playing as the Chaos Lord. And in fact, I believe this is the new Black Legion Chaos Lord in the Elite mod, one of the new schemes. And the Chaos Lord is a tanky melee hero, wears Terminator armor. He does not get knocked down or suppressed. However, he can get stunned. Yeah. Anyway, right there, he knocks down a guardsman. He starts out with a combi bolter and a demon sword. And then finally, we've got TheUgly, playing as yet another Force Commander. This one, Black Templars, another new scheme or theme in the Elite mod. So it looks like Red Team taking a bit of an early lead. They've got the VP lead. They've kind of won the opening engagements, so they've got most of the contested points on the map. In fact, they've noted this power right here, as well as noted the other contested power. So they should have a slightly better resource income, at least for now. It may not last very long. Although we do have a, looked like that Sentinel, yeah, I was going to say that Sentinel's going for the decap, but it gets forced off by some heretics. One thing that's starting to become kind of popular with Sentinels these days is actually choosing not to get the ground pound. It's very interesting, but kind of just saving the resources on not getting the ground pound, and then just using the massive amount of range fire that comes out of the Imperial Guard opening, just because so many of their opening units are ranged units, as a way of countering melee. Just leading ranged units on approach with so much range damage. We have a call of 2, who is calling 2. Anomaly is calling 2, but he must be calling 2 in the middle. Like he must be noticing that there's 2 in the middle. Because we do have, this is LuckyKiller as well as kryptoleo running around in the middle. Scouts already upgraded to be a sniper scout, but they do get suppressed, so they have to get out of there. Lucky not to lose a model, though. Meanwhile, we have a Plague Champion turret set up. So turrets are pretty effective at locking down an area in team games in Tier 1. Usually, you pretty much lock that area down, and it's very, very hard to break a well-placed turret in Tier 1. Usually, you either just need a very, very concerted, well-executed play, or you sometimes just need to wait until Tier 2 when you have more stuff and stuff that's better at taking down a turret faster. Force Commander looking a little overwhelmed here. Actually, no, now it's the Chaos Lord who's a little overwhelmed. Force Commander is, well, he's retreating, but so is that Chaos Lord at getting a little overwhelmed, because now he's all by himself. Only the Devastator Marines are here to slow things down, but they don't want to stick around too long because they're about to get overwhelmed, and they certainly don't want to get flanked by Banshees. Not with partial health, but I like the way that TheUgly is choosing. He's not retreating them. He's keeping them out on the field and just moving them back as necessary. Now he's moving them back into his lane, and I think his intention with this is probably just to protect his power farm, although he needs the Devastators to set up. Yeah, there they set up. because the tax on tax, obviously, questionable fight. If anything, I'd say the non-vulture tax would have a slight advantage, but definitely a devastating Marine squad supporting would definitely give them an advantage. This tax squad now has to be careful about not losing a model. It is in melee with another tax squad, but actually it's the other tax squad that loses 2 models. And now we have some Assault Marines jumping in for TheUgly. And he does lose a attack model, kind of pushing his luck against the Sentinel. He's got this tax squad only here with 300, less than 300 hit points now out of 1050. So he's really got to go, but the Sentinel way overextended. And this Sentinel will be very, very lucky to make it out alive, and it doesn't. Anyway, Plague Champion turret still up, and the Sentinel cannot break past that. The Sentinel certainly cannot, because the Sentinel's not here. It's dead. I actually meant the Commissar Lord cannot break past that. He was just kind of tanking in there. And here we already have a Doomseer. That's a Farseer equipped with the Doombringer. Probably the most common weapon war gear for the Farseer because of how incredibly useful that Doom ability is, especially combined with her starting guide ability. Doom, the ability that comes with the Doombringer, allows her to increase the damage that a squad takes. So if you combine that with Guide, you can make one squad take a huge amount of, or you can just like really increase the damage output on a particular squad. Now it looks like the Farseer has managed to get around. She actually just retreats out of there. And I mean, to be honest, she probably would have gone down trying to take out the turret. Oh, and the Plague Champion was there. Yeah, she didn't have a chance to take out that turret. Anyway, Force Commander for LuckyKiller has actually been taken down. He's rocking a double tack build into an Assault Marine build. Pretty expensive build. He's got enough resources. Oh, he's almost got enough resources to go to Tier 2. But most of the other players have already started. In fact, all of the other players have already started going to Tier 2. But these double tacks actually now absolutely doing work against the Assault Marines, especially if they activate Kraken Bolts so that they can do a little more damage. These Assault Marines are way overextended, and also they're going to be lucky not to lose more than 1 model. Meanwhile, Force Commander is still here for TheUgly. Force Commander for LuckyKiller getting revived by kryptoleo. It's kind of a funny name. And Tax don't lose a model, so overall things going pretty well for the blue team in this lane right now, at least in terms of forcing off the red team, basically forcing off TheUgly. But that is because they were kind of doubling TheUgly. Meanwhile, right now, this is Gaius Baltar in the middle, pretty much uncontested. He's just alone, so he's capturing the points. And the red team actually taking a very significant lead in terms of, certainly in terms of VPs and map control in general. So it looks like LuckyKiller is going to push forward, maybe attempt more of a power bash, but although there are 2 Flamer squads right here, they are about to run into a suppression team, and that'll pretty much prevent them from doing anything. Suppressed and then hit by a smite from the Librarian, so that gives them enough damage to scare them off. Meanwhile, in the middle, we've even got Anomaly moving to the middle. He's moving into the middle with all of his infantry, and he's got a Blood Crusher on the way. And this is now a pretty bad position for the Guardian Weapon team. Raptors jump in. They missed their suppression because they unfortunately didn't. They had a staggered jump because the Aspiring Champion was upgrading in the middle of their jump. Meanwhile, this is actually going to be really bad for Anomaly. Alright, not as bad as I thought. But Guardian Weapon Team manages to set up. Oh, Guardian Weapon Team is now in an absolutely terrible position. That Guardian Weapon Team should be done. Force melee, yeah, that's it. That was actually the, man, I forgot the Raptor chair. Oh my god, it actually ended up being a terrible engagement. What squad was that even? Was that a squad of Stormtroopers? I didn't even realize that there was a squad of Stormtroopers. But either way, that ended up being not a good engagement for the blue team. Assault Marines really need to get out of there. We've got both the Force Commander and the Chaos Lord running forward. I can't imagine many things that would be scarier than just being charged at by 2 tanky melee heroes. Chaos Lord taps the Force Commander on the back with his sword for some reason. And this is a bit of an awkward build. We've got the Combi Flamer, the Harness of Rage, and the Demonic Massage. It's a bit of an awkward combination, but I'm sure it'll work out. Chaos Lord now needs to be careful, though, about fighting the Force Commander. The Force Commander has an upgraded weapon, which I think will give the Force Commander the edge. And, oh, we've got quite a counterattack from kryptoleo and LuckyKiller in this lane. The only thing that they really got, or not the only thing, but certainly the main thing I think they got to worry about is those Devastators right there suppressing their entire army. Librarian just might go down, and he does. Librarian way overextended. So certainly got a few squad wipes. Unfortunately, nothing really here that will counter the Devastator, but TheUgly, I guess it was kind of like a game of chicken, and TheUgly just kind of got out of there. We're going to have a drop pod, which is a little awkward this time. Going to, well, I'm going to say, well, either way, it brings in a new tac squad. So now LuckyKiller has 3 tac squads. I feel like I'm not really sure he really wanted to do that, or maybe did, but I don't know if he should have. Anyway, it actually looks like things are going terribly for the blue team, to be honest. They pushed off things down here, but otherwise they are just really, really not winning on map control. Wraith Guard really, really got to get the heck away from some Khorne Chaos Space Marines. Generally not a common purchase, but a Manticore takes out the Plague Champion. The Khorne Chaos Space Marines, they're definitely going to be very, very scary to the Wraith Guard. Meanwhile, the blue team really does not have a whole lot in terms of map control. They really never had. We've got a Catachan Devil. They actually have the Meltagun member, the Veteran Sergeant, but not the Demo Man. Meanwhile, LuckyKiller might want to take some time now that he's got double tax squads as well, double tax and a Stern Guard now. He's got a lot of capping speed to actually capture the points in his lane. TheUgly is all set up. Now LuckyKiller's composition should be able to, he should be winning against TheUgly. Like his composition should be winning against TheUgly. He's got like 2 extra attacks, and he can have his assault marines jump on the Devastators.
Scouts under attack.
Ooh, but Scout Marines are down to 1 model now, reinforcing from the drop pod, but they're actually going to get wiped. I don't know what happened to LuckyKiller there, maybe just not paying attention, but they got wiped by these fully upgraded Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines from Gaius Baltar, who has a very, very short build. I think he's just been running this build of one Heretic, 1 Chaos Space Marine, and the Raptors, and I think that's pretty much been his build, and he's just kind of ridden it straight to tier 3. Ooh, this is actually now going to be a terrible engagement for LuckyKiller. I think the thing that he really needs the saving... Oh my god, the saving grace is going to be that Manticore on all that stuff, wiping out one of the Heretic squads from Gaius Baltar. Or the only Heretic squad. I was going to say the saving grace would be the Force Commander with the Thunderhammer, but the Force Commander retreats out of there, I feel like, really, really prematurely. That being said, LuckyKiller lost his assault marines, so something about his micro in that engagement was not quite optimal. He lost the assault marines, and then he retreated his Force Commander out of there at full health. And Force Commander should have been battle-cried at knocking things over. I think it actually was, but I don't know. Somehow that just really did not go in LuckyKiller's favor. He was getting double, though, to be fair. So, double cap for the blue team. Haidran is on top. I feel like I haven't been watching a whole lot of him, but he's going to get a full bash on the red team. But, I mean, the blue team is kind of stuck in tier 2. No one really getting to tier 3 anytime soon, while we've got 2 players on the red team already there. Anomaly going for heavier tier 2 builds, however, and lots and lots of power bashes. Raptors jump in and suppress the guardsmen. That clears the way for all of the rest of the melee units. Anomaly going for pretty much a full-on melee build with chaos. He's got the only thing pretty much the main things he doesn't have that are melee is he's actually got a ranged Plague Champion, and he still has the Dreadnought, which is actually both ranged and melee in his current form. So blue team actually managing to hold this double cap for now, and actually about to make it a 2-0. Oh, are we gonna see another librarian go down? I think this is TheUgly's 2nd librarian loss. So I don't know what's going on with those librarians, but anyway, over here, the Chaos Dreadnought has been snared by a Haywire. However, I think, wow, I thought that was, whoa, wow. Anomaly got absolutely murdered in that engagement, and now I think he's going to lose his Dreadnought. But yeah, he got absolutely murdered in that engagement, and I think a lot of it had to do with the Farseer. She's got the rune armor. There goes the Dreadnought. So wow, red team really getting hit hard now. Despite all of their early dominance, things are now starting to go back into the blue team's favor. And Haidran did play that very well. I think he forced off 2 squads of heretics that were probably bunched up using the Psychic Storm ability from the Farseer. That really is such a fantastic ability. It's something that doesn't exist in retail, so it's specific to Elite Mod. And we're also seeing some very good Wraithguard use out of him. And Wraithguard are an interesting unit. They're both a unit that is potentially very powerful, and at the same time, there are a lot of times when Eldar players will not get them because there are things about them that can be tough. Anyway, these Chaos Space Marines in a huge amount of trouble. They get knocked over by the Kadashan Devils. Actually, well, they lose 1 model. I was going to say they were getting pretty lucky not losing any models right there. Our Devastator's about to set up, or not. They actually just back off when they realize they just got way too close. And we have an unupgraded Force Commander for the Ugly. My guess is that maybe now he's actually saving up for Terminator armor for his Force Commander, because he has not gotten any Warriors for the Force Commander.
An ally has secured a power node.
So after a very rough start, the blue team is really coming back into this game very strong. They're still behind in tech for the most part, but kryptoleo is going to tier 3, and his Manticore has definitely been something that's definitely had some. There have been some good plays out of it, basically. Raptors jump in. They do have an Aspiring Champion, which now has a Power Fist and a Melt-A-Pistol in the Elite Mod. Here's this full-on melee build from Anomaly. But I don't know if that's actually a good thing for them. One thing about that melee build is he definitely wants to initiate with the Raptors, and he's not doing that. He's putting his units in the building. They're getting hit by a grenade. Actually took a lot of damage. A ton of heretic models died. In fact, everything except for the Aspiring Champion. You know, too much is going on, and the Farseer are going to go down, however. But now I thought, if anything, I thought the Banshee should have gone after the Corn Marines. Might have had a chance to wipe them there or take out a few models, but they still take out 2 Raptor models, so it doesn't matter because they're tearing apart the Raptors the way they probably would have torn apart the Corn Space Marines. And this is, wow, the Ugly making a very hard lane switch completely away from the bottom lane, bringing his Vanguard all the way on top. I guess to like support to get the red team back in this game, to get them to have a second VP, because it really has evened out quite amazingly. I mean, the red team it's both a combination of the blue team really doing what they need to do to get back in this game, and the red team probably kind of like just dropping the ball, to be honest. Because this opened up as a very one-sided game for the red team. They were at over 400 VPs to roughly 100 for the blue team, and now we only have less than a 100-point VP deficit, although the red team is about to get the double cap back again. Now, Haidran is saying that they're a 3-top, and that's actually not true at the moment, although that was what he last saw, so that's probably what he's reporting. But as we can see right now, this is actually Anomaly running away from the top lane, which is a little surprising, especially because that really does allow them to get back into the top lane. And actually now it's LuckyKiller making a hard lane switch to the opposite side. But yeah, they need to put something on the point. They're definitely running out of time, so they're going to have to start doing things like capturing under fire. Kadashan Devil's about to get wiped. What happened? kryptoleo, unfortunately, I don't know, just not paying attention. But yeah, Anomaly moved out of the top lane to go to the bottom lane, and I don't know, bash power or something, or I don't know, just try to fight whatever was in the bottom lane. I'm not really sure why he did that, and I think doing that allowed the blue team to get back up here, and now they actually have a double tap. Plague Champion is using a Plague Cloud, though. That is very, very hard on the Guardsman. It really, really hurts him, especially considering this is a level 3 6-man Guardsman squad. No Sergeant, no Commissar. Absolutely bizarre. Hardly ever see that. A third Librarian goes down. So that is the third Librarian we've seen in this game, and it goes down. Is this going to be a Manticore Strike? Manticore Strike going in. All of the Chaos stuff is running away, so the red team stuff is running away. Meanwhile, we've got the Lehman Russ is being chased down by some Terminators that were called in behind in the middle of the engagement. This is going to be an Elder Storm, and Gaius Baltar, not really paying attention, loses the Predator. Very, very late reactions from him, and he loses the Predator. Meanwhile, Lehman Russ is still alive. Ooh, but now the Manticore is in trouble. So the Manticore is going to need some support, maybe from the Lehman Russ as well as these turrets. And the Manticore actually manages to get out of there alive, which is a good thing. That Manticore for kryptoleo is one of the things that I think helped put the blue team back into this game. But now they are slowly getting out of this game. They managed to knock the tax off the point, but now it's actually a 1-0 cap for the red team. Could this be it for them? Maybe we'll have a Commissar Lord go down for a decap on the red team's natural. Although it could be tough because some heretics are about to run up there. And I think with a Doom Blast, they could probably intercept him before he could ever get a decap. In fact, all of the red team things are converging in the middle. So I think it's really going to be up to these triple attacks from LuckyKiller to just get on the middle VP, because that's what they really got to do. That here is the Manticore Strike again. Manticore Strike mostly just hits the Commissar, and he doesn't care. But it literally just hits the Commissar. But unfortunately, what's going on with the red team is that they're abandoning the top lane, and that's actually allowing the blue team to get back into the game, frankly, a little unnecessarily. Fully upgraded Chaos Lord, and now switch to the Lightning Claws. Gonna make him very, very scary. Banshee's getting scared off. Oh my god, getting mobbed by heretics. Here is a rocket run, though. And it's gonna wipe the heretics and, well, for the most part, just knock a bunch of other stuff over. It does not even wipe the heretics. So, oh, well, we had some follow-up fire that wiped the heretics. And, I mean, this game is blue team managing to keep this game even, but unfortunately I think part of what's keeping this game even is that red team, to be honest, making some not-so-great choices, kind of running out of their lane at a time when they need to stay. Like, they're running around to other places when they need to hold their VPs, and right now it's actually, I don't actually see the red team winning this engagement on top, so Attack Squad nearly gets wiped, and it still might get wiped, or nope, gets out of there alive. And now we've got Vanguards and Assault Terminators up against an Autarch and other Assault Terminators. Here's another call-in. More Terminators, maybe? No, this is a drop pod, and it's just a drop pod. It's a drop pod call-in from TheUgly. And I think that's, I don't know. I don't know about that drop pod call-in, to be honest. Well, oh, you know what's actually good about it is that the Vanguards are going to reinforce, and now the Assault Terminators for LuckyKiller are nearly dead, and they're going to get wiped. Why is he actually letting them die? Even the Assault Terminators, well, the Vanguards chasing after the Assault Terminators, but the Vanguards get wiped for, I think that was for TheUgly. And his Assault Terminators barely got out of there alive. So it's the blue team holding on and evening out this game. Terminators called in for Gaius Baltar. Although right now I would say with the things they're up against, they're going to want some kind of upgrade. Here goes the Manticore Strike. Oh no. Yeah, alright. Chaos Space Marines get out of there. They retreat so they won't die. But meanwhile, let's see. We've got some heretics. I feel like we haven't seen any touch-up Nurdle out of Anomaly. Is this an Eldritch Storm? No, that's just, that was just the Psychic Storm. But here is the Imperial Abyss. And to be honest, it mostly misses. So, I mean, we had some nukes, but, that nuke kind of missed. Chaos Terminator's getting absolutely murdered, and it's that phrase now. This is the red team's game to lose. It's kind of a funny phrase. Commissar goes down, but double Lehmans when life gives you Lehmans, then IG can win the game.
An ally's forces are under attack.
Now, Lehman shouldn't be too worried about Plague Champions as long as it's got some repair support, but it should also stop facing its rear armor to something like that. So LuckyKiller's holding on top. If anything, these scouts are never going to capture that point. You've got double Executioner cannons. You don't see that often. The Executioner, one of the good things, that's the Executioner, it's certainly a lot of anti-infantry damage, or at least it should be. Yeah, I mean it is. And it actually can deal damage to both vehicles as well as infantry, because it does do plasma cannon damage, which is an extremely versatile damage type. However, I believe it does have a bit shorter range. I actually think what's really underrated with the Leman Russ, or probably not even underrated, if anything, people probably do know how good it is. Even the default cannon for the Leman Russ is actually really good, and to be honest, I think a lot of the times it's, considering you have to pay for the upgrades, it might just be better to stay with the default cannon. Alright, Chaos Space Marines on top get the decap. They're going to die if they try to get the full cap, so they don't. Anyway, we've got double tax right here, and so they should actually be working on kiting and focus firing this Chaos Lord. Don't just let him attack. And the Force Commander got out of there too. I don't know what he was doing. Probably have Doom activated on the Chaos Lord. I'm not sure. But something like Guide on... Yeah, I think Guide was also activated on the Tactical Marine. So this Chaos Lord is done. And Warp Spiders teleport in to go. Here is an orbital bombardment. Plasma tax caught right in there. So are some Dire Avengers. They actually run right in along with the Imperial Guardsmen. But this Chaos Spider now in a bit of trouble. It is taking damage from the Executioner Leman Russ, although this is actually where the other cannons would be better. Actually does manage to take out the Predator with the Executioner Leman Russ, but I was going to say that the other types of cannons for the Leman Russ would be better for the purpose of AV, because it's just that burst damage. Another rocket run? This is Cryptoleo's second rocket run, and I think one thing he's doing is he's using this to stall, buy time, and win the game, because it's just going to buy them time to hold the double cap, and soon this is going to be the red or the blue team winning the game. Got Plague Marines, in fact, double Plague Marines. The problem with Plague Marines is that they really aren't the most powerful AV. Here is another Psychic Storm. Red team stuff getting wiped here, and the Anomaly is calling a GG, and it really is looking like the blue team is going to take this against all odds, and with such a rocky start that looked like it was so terrible for them. They managed to take it. Space Marines Predator goes down, but it is too little, too late. We do have an Imperial Abyss, but that's also too little, too late. And the blue team with a very miraculous comeback. Quite a game. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good night.